Hallo almal en welkom by hierdie Vryheidsdag uitgawe van Brandt Punt. Ek kan nie aan 'n beter manier dink as om Vryheidsdag by 'n vuurtjie deur te bring en 'n vleisie te braai nie. So ek hoop julle geniet die episode saam met my. This is again a new episode that we cover all the questions. Remember to post your questions in the comment section below here on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Our first contributor is Leanne Robinson, and Leanne wants to know, let's say we get to independence and a party is in power. What will happen to Cape Exit? Will Cape Exit's role continue behind the scenes? Or what are the plans and what would Cape Exit do after independence? Now, as you might be aware, Cape Exit is currently working very, very hard behind the scenes to put different structures in place. For example, the cantons that have started in Cape Town that will be launched throughout the Western Cape soon. But in effect, Leanne, Cape Exit's role will end after independence. Our main focus now is to gain support for independence and obviously to make sure that all the policies and proposals that are put forward goes on to the interim government, which will have no executive power after a yes vote is carried in a referendum. But we will have to make sure that all the policies are carried through to the new government once that gets elected. But in effect, Cape Exit will cease to exist after independence. I hope that makes it clear for you. Goed, ons volgende vraag is deur Chris de Tooy. Chris vra 'n baie belangrike vraag. Chris wil weet, na wie toe gaan die e-posse wanneer 'n persoon registreer op ons Cape Exit webbladsy? Nou Chris, ons weet in die verlede was daar probleme dat die e-pos gegaan het na partykeer 'n gemors folder. Ons weet ook dat dit gaan na spam folders soms. En dit het alles te doen met 'n verstelling op ons webblad. Nou vir die afgelope paar weke is daar intensiewe werk gedoen agter die skerms van ons webblad en hierdie probleem is besig om uitsorteer te word. In beginsel gaan die e-pos om te bevestig na die persoon wat registreer. So as iemand nie 'n e-posadres invul nie, sal daar nie 'n e-pos gestuur word nie. Indien iemand sy familielede almal na sy eie e-pos verwys, dit wil sê hy registreer sy oom, sy tannie, sy broer, sy suster en hy sit een e-posadres in, dan sal die bevestigings e-pos na daai een e-posadres gaan en bevestig dat die persoon wel registreer het. Daar's 'n hele paar opgraderings wat ons besig is om te doen op die webbladsy. Ek wil nie te veel daaroor uitwy nie, ek los dit in die hande van die tegniese manne, maar ons gaan groot verbeteringe aanbring wanneer dit kom by die registrasieproses, die e-posse na ons lede uitstuur op 'n maandelikse basis saam met die nuusbrief. So daar's baie vernuwing wat plaasvind en ons is baie opgewonde oor die nuwe sisteme wat in plek gebring word. Hou net geduld, dit kom binnekort, Chris. Dankie hoor. Goed, dan het ons 'n vraag van Des Palm. Des vra namens 'n vriend. Baie dankie Des, jy laat my lekker glimlag as jy sê namens 'n vriend, phone 'n friend. Jou vriend wil weet, wat is die toekoms van trade unions? What is the future of trade unions after independence? Now, Des, you are welcome to tell your friend there will be none. There won't be any future because trade unions will not be part of the new independent Western Cape. And you can also tell your friend, I think that will make a huge difference in how the community operates in general and the work ethic of people in the work environment, etc., etc. So I don't see it to be a negative point. Life without trade unions sounds like heaven on earth to me. So please convey this message to your friend and thank you for your question. Then we have another question from one of our regular contributors, GV. Thank you so much, GV. GV wants to know, will we be able to turn prisons from cost centers into profit centers? which in effect means that prisons should not be a burden on society, but rather a contributor. And I personally cannot agree more, GV. Prisons is something that the new government will decide on, but obviously the draft policies on how prisons are run will certainly contain community service, where prisoners for lesser crimes will contribute to society. Now, whether the prisons decide to charge for these services, that is not something I can say at the moment, but certainly uh, prisons should not be a burden on society. To the contrary, I think prisons can play a huge role in the maintenance of society infrastructure in general. And we are not talking about slave labor here. We are talking about paying towards society, paying back your dues to society, which sounds like a fair system to me. Let's see how the new government will decide on this, GV. You also asked a question about a live Q&A and not necessarily in a video series like this. We had two sessions not too long ago, one here in Mossel Bay and the other in Plettenberg Bay, and we would love to have more of those. It is something that Cape Exit would most certainly support and attend and partake in. So if there's anybody out there within the Western Cape, within a few hours drive from Cape Town, we would most certainly participate if you can arrange an event like that. Please let me know, post a comment, send me an email or a private message, and I will be very glad to assist with this. Thanks, GV. Okay, then we have a contribution from Teresa Borman and Hendo. Hendo, I can't remember that long number behind your name. You know I'm talking with you. Both of these contributors requested that we contact Colonel Chris Wyatt, the talk show host or TV channel host in America. I can assure you guys that Mr. Des Palm, our operational director, is in contact with Colonel Wyatt. I know that Colonel Wyatt is a supporter of our cause, and it is not something that we want to do on a daily basis, but I can assure you that Colonel Wyatt is fully aware of our cause, and regular communications to him cannot be a bad thing. I'm sure our operational director will most certainly make an effort to get the news out to Colonel Wyatt. So let's see what happens. Let's see what the Colonel can come up with. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of this video. My glass is half full and the fire is almost ready to start cooking. I would like to just end this video and reflect a little bit on freedom, as we are celebrating Freedom Day this past weekend. What is freedom? What is it that everybody's on about? Freedom. Can we ever be free? Now, I find it ironic that we have to talk about freedom, but still we need to struggle to get independence. So, can we be free from the laws of nature, gravity? Can we ever be totally free? And the answer is quite simply no, we can't. But with the freedoms that we have within society, the basic freedoms and rights of people, why are we fighting? Why are we struggling to be heard? How free are we in a democratic South Africa? How free are we to make our voices heard? And why does nobody listen? The powers that be claim to have a democratic society in which we are free, yet we do not have a say. How free are we then? How democratic is our society when we are not allowed, as the people of the Western Cape, who put people in place to govern over us, to take charge of society that we live in, yet we have no say in the matter? How free are we? Is that freedom? Ask yourself this. Think very carefully as to what you consider freedom to be in a democratic society where you have no say in your own future. How fair is that? How free is that? I leave you with those thoughts. Sien julle volgende week. Ek gaan nou 'n vleisie braai. Lekker kuier. Praat binnekort.